It's 2011 and I know I'm going to be upsetting some people this time, so let's get right to it. This was the year of the game that wouldn't die, Skyrim. Sorry, I didn't like Oblivion and I never really tried this one. Uncharted 3 was a worthy end of the trilogy. Dead Space 2 was the spiritual successor to RE4 that RE5 couldn't be. Skyward Sword was disappointing in too many ways to get into right now. Rayman Origins was a solid reboot of a forgotten hero. Sonic Generations was the first really good Sonic game in a long time. Bastion was a remarkable first effort by Supergiant Games that deserves more time than I have in this video. And the aggressively gross but well-made roguelike The Binding of Isaac released. Unfortunately for all of them, my notes here indicate that there was another game that came out this year that was a huge success, namely Portal 2. When Valve released the Orange Box back in 2007, it included a funny little physics game called Portal. It felt more like an experiment than a game, a bite-sized little adventure built around the titular portals and a snarky, antagonistic AI named GLaDOS. When they announced a full-fledged sequel, it wasn't immediately clear how that would even work, but the sequel drops us right back into the questionable experiments of Aperture Science. They even use the exact same tutorial rooms as the first game, which lets them show how the facility has decayed over time. This game gives you a companion AI, Wheatley, who promises to get you to safety, but instead manages to wake up GLaDOS in a surprisingly chilling moment.
Oh, it's you.
She's obviously not happy that you blew her up in the first game, so it's right back to testing for you. In Portal 1, GLaDOS was mostly passive-aggressive, but now that you've killed her, she isn't bothering to be subtle. Instead, she's hilariously sarcastic and full of cutting quips about your parentage and weight that are designed to break your morale.
This plate must not be calibrated to someone of your generousness. I'll add a few zeros to the maximum weight.
There's these great details during these early tests as GLaDOS slowly pulls the facility back into shape around you. The game seems to be following the original's trajectory right up until you confront GLaDOS.
You brought something stronger than a portal gun this time. Otherwise, I'm afraid you're about to become the immediate past president of the Being Alive Club.
Fortunately, you pull the switcheroo on her and replace her with Wheatley. He goes mad way too quick, stuffs GLaDOS into a potato, and then dumps you into the basement for a tour of Aperture Science's wacky history, narrated by the recorded voice of company founder, shower curtain salesman, and massive blowhard.
Let me introduce myself. I'm Cave Johnson. I own the place.
I love the design of these old test chambers and the scale of these caverns they're set into. You'll have to use the portal gun and these questionable liquids to climb back out of the pit you've been dumped in. By the time you and GLaDOS make it back to the modern chambers, the whole place is falling apart, and Wheatley is literally slamming test chambers together just to keep things going. This whole game is great, stuffed with details and gags and creative uses for the portals. I especially love the finale moonshot. It's foreshadowed so well and such a satisfying conclusion. Portal 2 is a great game and a fantastic sequel, expanding on everything the first game did so well. It's just a shame Valve still hasn't learned how to count to 3. That's my pick for 2011. Let me know what you would have picked down in the comments, and like and follow to see what I pick for 2012.